game.
It is the big debate show, and we're live in the building.
Yep. So people, today's topic is domestic violence. If you're a man, if you're a man, how many of you would admit if you were a victim of domestic violence? Now I'm going to pose that question obviously to my brother and Bandit first. If your missus, you catching this laugh, if your missus was flinging some abuse on you, would you A, restrain her, B, lick her back, or C, go to the police and let victim support help you?
I would just lift her out of the house. Nah. You know what? I don't know, man. I've never.
It's happening, you know. It's happening.
It is happening. You know what I mean? I'm watching it on Coronation Street and that, but you know what it is, yeah. I just can't imagine it as such. You know what I mean? If you can't, you know what I mean? I can't put myself in a situation because
I'm sure that there's plenty of women, who are victims of domestic violence who never saw themselves in that position.
Yeah, but as I said, like, you know, you grow up as like a man, you know, and it's just difficult to even envision a man. You know, if someone told you, like, that's why I think, like, even in the contents of like work, there's so many cases of like female sexual harassment was gone to courts and stuff. But I don't think there's been many male cases, because I think in the way of the world that like this is viewed that these things just don't happen.
Do you know,
ladies, have you ever like been violent to your partners in such way, you know what I mean? Because some ladies, there are certain guys who are just like the way inclined, they don't hit women and stuff. They're just kind of like, not saying, I wouldn't call men soft and stuff, but it's just the way they are.
Soft. I'm gonna. I know you said you're not gonna use that word.
Like, you know,
what do you mean?
Soft emotionally. You know, some people are like that. Some men are like that, and women will take advantage of that kind of situation sometimes. So have you ever been in a kind of relationship? Because we have spoke about guys that you've previously been out with before on the show. and some of them you said, like, you know what I mean, you did like not really respect them in so much ways, and you thought they're a bit of, you know, soft as such.
I'm gonna pass this microphone over to Sister Lily Love, because it's only right that she bless up the mic if she's ready. And so Sister Lily, the question is, has any one of us ever been, or
friends or known or anything like that?
Friends?
Yeah, friends, you know.
Oh, okay. Good morning, people. That's a nice question to come in with. I'll be honest, I haven't, like, physically, like, in my relationship, but yeah, remember, I'm a very hot-headed person, so if you get me to that point, I don't hit or I throw stuff, but that's just to, like, say, look, I'm at that point now. But I don't aim, you know, like when you throw just as a warning, not because if I wanted to aim, if I was, you know what I mean? But no, not really. And more so my partner, he either ducks or holds my hand. That's the truth. Alright. I've never been in a domestic violence relationship, ever. However, that doesn't mean that a man never tried. Serious, but he knew not to try again, do you know what I mean? Because it was me doing the restraining. Yeah, I believe in de-escalation and conflict resolution. So, the answer to your question is no, but I do know of people, especially in my line of work, of certain young girls of the age of about 15 at the time, they're 20, 21 now, 15, who was actually getting abused by a boyfriend, where outside Tesco's on a high street in North London, the young lady ran off, came back, was walking with a knife, you know. Her man dragged her up, took her phone, and she ended up stabbing him in the buttocks, you know what I mean? And he was in a hospital, and it all went to court and stuff. But every time it gets to that court stage, she she wasn't, you know what I mean, she wouldn't go through to the full hog of where she wanted to press charges. However, they do have it now that if somebody does abuse or is abusive to a partner, the police press the charges because they know some people are too fearful or scared of going forward. Do you know what I mean? So I do know 15-year-olds, yeah, who are dealing with domestic violence as we speak. You know what I mean? So I just think it's
I've got to read this BB from JJ. He says, I mean, there's nothing wrong with giving a girl a little slap every once in a while.
Do you know what? Somebody else said that.
You know what?
What's going on with these people?
That's how they started this whole subject. Is when someone said, yeah, I can understand, don't get me wrong, but you also have to understand the other side of the coin. If you're saying sometimes it's alright if a girl gets, you know, sometimes a little slap just to put her in her place when she's chatting a little bit of frap. The thing is, like, that woman can fight back. So what do you get now? Do you get two people battering each other, or one person getting it more than the other? That is not right. Do you know what I mean? Do you know?
Listen. Somebody turned around and said the same thing as JJ, which was, you know, there's nothing wrong with his partner getting an occasional slap. I had to ask him if he's with anyone. He said he's single, yeah? So he wonders why. However, I was with a guy for about 8 years and he turned around and said if he felt the need to be violent in his relationship, he would leave. He would just bounce, you know what I mean? So one person on one hand, a man, yeah, is ready to bounce, but only a little boy, yeah, is ready to fling licks, knowing that he is stronger in every way than the woman. Well, not always in that case, not always, because some women, you know what I mean, they're eating the cornmeal porridge in the morning. But no, so it's a bit of role reversal. However, at the same time as I'm saying it, I want to be very clear that there are some women who I know, you know, back to that topic about push buttons, yeah, who will turn around and slap a man first or push him up in a corner, and then when she gets a slap now, they're like, he slapped me, he slapped me. Like, you know what I mean? If you dish out that kind of medicine, then you have to, like, at some way expect it. However, does that make it right that in a relationship that now you are both flinging licks after one another? I don't think so. However, there are some people who are living in these kind of relationships for years, and I can also understand. I can understand to a point, like that they're scared and fearful, but at some point they have to grow up here. That's my fault. That's my view. I don't think it's acceptable. Domestic violence in your relationship, I'm not cutting no corners here, is unacceptable. So if you find yourself in that kind of scenario, then I'm saying that you need to do something about it. However, the kind of angle I'm coming from is that there are plenty of women, who do actually push boundaries, you know what I mean, and they it's almost like when they get the consequence of their actions, yeah, then they're like, I'm crying about it, don't cry, you know what I mean, know what you're doing, you know what I mean, and you need to learn some self-control. However, there are some men who are talking about it's acceptable and saying that when they grew up, all they saw how their mothers or their, you know what I mean, was flinging licks and this was happening back home and rare and it's acceptable. Well, maybe overseas it's acceptable, but in the UK it ain't. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, and then what does that show to your children? So if you've got a child who's growing up in a domestic violence household, yeah, then when she grows up or he grows up, he's gonna believe that it's all right, yeah, for him to go and lay some licks on a woman or her to be receiving of the licks and staying in the relationship. Like, what is that all about? So my question out to the people is, you know, what messages are you sending to your child if you are in that kind of relationship?
Why can't we just stay together?
So fitting. Well, if the man's giving you licks, yeah, you're not supposed to be wanting to stay with him anymore. Some people just need to hear it just like it is. Alright, so big shouts out to Reds. Red says, some women push the boundaries because they know that they can have a man arrested and thrown in jail just by calling the police. They don't even have a press. They don't even have to press charges anymore. The state will do it for them. Even if they were the aggressor, the state sees them as defenseless and scared. The law is biased towards women. If you agree with that, ping us, let us know. Don't get me wrong, sometimes they are too scared to say anything, but some females, in capital letters, just use the law to their advantage. Like the chick on the bus. She was clearly the aggressor. If you have seen the video, you know. But when she was interviewed by the news, she was acting like she was the innocent, and the driver just got up and hit her.
I'm telling you.
Neglected to mention that she was being rude and aggressive towards the driver who was doing his job and didn't even have to let her on the bus to find her fare. She also conveniently forgot about. Big shouts out to No Bling. They said great topic. Bear man suffering silence. Yes. Bear chicks take the pee, cause nice guys will turn a blind eye. I will box a chick if she takes pure liberties. Kwame from Manchester. But women, yeah, I've got to really wake you up right now. If you're a woman and all you do is you keep on changing partner after partner after partner, yeah, and every man that you're with is not living up to your expectations, or you keep on getting broke up by a man, yeah, then listen. And when your child is now disrespecting you and you're going on like, I don't know why you're being rude for, why you being, I'm your mother, you don't have no right to be rude to me, da da da. Look at the conditions of what you're living like. Yeah? Seriously. Not all cases are like that, but there are some cases like that. And anybody who's upset with what I just said, there's a saying, if the cap fit, make them wear it.
This is a message to the guys, because Pete done a message to the women. To those guys who feel that women are taking the biscuit and they're getting away with a lot because the law is more on their side, you can do something about it. It's all about talking, not about going to your cave. You can go to your cave to retreat and think and analyse, yeah? Which is nice. I think it's nice when guys, because sometimes for them to go to their cave is because they need to step back, analyse what's going on. I think sometimes women just go, oh, he doesn't want to talk, but sometimes talking, you have to sit back and really look at the situation. Guys, hit us, let us know. Don't hit us like that though, because I just realised when I said hit us. But get at us, and you have to stand up and speak up what is going on. And ladies out there, and guys who are with ladies who you feel are aggressive, and you might be a nice, quiet guy. It's about telling your woman, making her know that if it gets to the point of violence, it's a walkout thing. There's no need for it.
So, man's coming at you, relationships and all that. We'll be looking at man swinging at woman, at girl swinging at man and all sorts, yeah? So, it's all being fisted out and all sorts. So, sis, I don't know about you. Well, in fact, I do know about you. I know you're not having no man hitting you, yeah? What about that reverse psychology, mind manipulation thing? Like, how do you deal with that if you were in a relationship like that? If your head's, when people play their mind games.
Oh, I think I've had that one. But as soon as I realised what was happening, the person knew what time of day it was. Shout out, Danny. Love your lots. You were a great teacher. Yeah. So, I don't understand. If you feel
how did you deal with it? How did you?
Well, at the beginning, when they say grief, what's the 3 stages of grief again?
Oh, I don't know.
First it's like pain. I'd call it pain. Then anger. Then bargaining, bartering. Yeah, those what? If I'm wrong, people holler at us, BB tweet, let us know. But those are the 3 stages for me that I went through. I think at first I was a bit upset, obviously, confused. Then I was angry, and when I was angry, I did certain things that I'm not proud of. Yeah, I did go for him a few times. He got kicked off bikes and also, I don't think I actually physically hit him, but if he was on something, it would be, just to show that you hurt me and that. And then when I got over that, I decided, obviously, this is making me go do lally. And in a what you say, an emotional, mental way. And he did do that, because 1 minute he'll be like fine, and the next minute be like, I don't know you. So if someone is treating you like that in a relationship right now, you need to write the do's and don'ts, and then you need to write the what's it called? Pros and cons. I was trying to think of the name. I have not slept for much this week. But your pros and cons. What is the pros of being in a relationship? What's the cons of being in a relationship? And be honest with yourself, yeah? Don't just put things down to just pretty it up or balance it out. If there is no pros, then you know what time of day it is. If someone is mentally messing with you, you need to realise at the end of the day, that could only lead to one thing. Yeah. Either you getting violent, yeah, or you being very, very ill.
Listen, there's certain girls going, oh, I don't know why he does this to me. I don't know why he does this like that. I don't know why he treats me like that. I don't know why, I don't know why, I don't know why. You do know why, yeah? And it's up to you what you do about it, do you know what I mean? Like, if you're in that state where you feel emotionally and physically dysfunctional, where you're just on autopilot or just on nothing, yeah? Zombied out, monged out, in front of the TV, yeah? Like, crying your heart out, or doing the, because some women do this, I'm gonna kill myself if you leave me, I'm gonna kill myself, yeah, all of that stuff, that emotional blackmail stuff, it's got to stop, yeah. It is about knowing thyself, it's about having some respect for self, knowing worth, having self-worth, you know what I mean, and growing as an individual, as a woman or a man, you know what I mean, and it's about two beings coming together, you know what I mean? And like we said, my favourite word is interdependence, because that's what we were talking about last week, Bandit, on Big Debate Show type women, yeah? That's what it was talking about, interdependence of how people come together and support each other, do you know what I mean? And as much as we're talking about domestic violence, yeah, we're trying not to be unbiased, but at the same time we're about wakey, rise and shine, yeah? Sometimes there's no other way to say things than just say it as it is, you know what I mean? Wake up, smell the coffee, get out. Easier said than done, but you shouldn't stay with nobody for the children's sake. Yeah? Oh no, I can't leave, I've got kids. Yeah? So now you put yourself in a prison. Yeah? Why? Your children are not happy. Yeah? Because you are not happy. So get out. And then if you're getting licks on top of that, or you're getting bullied emotionally, or you know what I mean, then you need to really reevaluate, and you need to be safe, and it's about happiness, you know what I mean, and know thyself. Licks, it doesn't have to happen. Just because you saw it going on for your mother, your father, or your grandfathers or whatever, doesn't mean it still has to be going on now. It is not acceptable, yeah? No man can put a hand on my child, yeah? Nobody. I stopped doing what I have to my daughter a long time ago, you know what I mean? So nobody has the right to do that to my child, or me, or my mother, or my sister. It's unacceptable. So, you know, I've got a heart.
So now Blue looks a bit of a violent lady to me.
What did you say?
You're a bit violent too.
Blue, he's trying to say you look like you could cause you'd be a domestic violence.
She just, don't you?
Yeah, she does.
Why do I always get... I do not look like trouble. Everybody, please stop telling me I look like trouble. I do not look like trouble. I am not going to start anything. Do not start with me.
Slap it! Slap it!
Do not start with me. I will not start with you.
Violence.
Me, no, never.
She's sweet, but she's sweet, innit? Sweet trouble.
No. Sweet trouble, you couldn't be sweet trouble. Sweet trouble, I like that one. Nobody's actually said that one. But you know what? No, because
bitter trouble.
Bitter trouble and sweet trouble. No, but that's what I like. As much as somebody could turn around and say, go on, be Blue, old mind. She's not gonna just jump out there and give him a slap. Catch us each and every Saturday from 10 till 12. I think Bandit should be choosing the topic for next week, because I think in all the months that we have been doing the Big Debate Show, I don't think he's ever actually come out with a topic. It was always Fury, always me, or always you. Yeah, never.
That's your jobs, man. Everyone's got to play their role.
Brother,
you know what I mean?
did we? What's the show about? Violence?
I get about like good 50, 60 emails a day. Yeah, now go through them, cut out the ones who ain't got swearing. I've got a lot of work to do, you know.
Our brother's working very hard. So,
is that what you're saying? We've got how you get out and we come up on top of it.
We've got to be supportive sisters, right?
Yeah, supportive.
And before we kind of close up, I think like we're gonna have to make a rule. The last person who comes to the studio has to bring like drinks and some refreshments because, you know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
All right. Deal, yeah?
Yeah. All right. Let's do this. Let's finish. All right, let's go. Big shouts out to everybody. Remember, follow at Big Debate Show. We will be putting down the people's names who for the guest list for We Play Music Live. Remember, you can catch us all down there on the 28th of October. However, same place next weekend, 10 till 12. Remember, also follow me at Peaches Presents. Straight after this is Baby Blue and Peaches from 12 till 2. Then we've got Adelaide Mackenzie. Then Tantrum video shoot down in Myland today at 3 o'clock. It's going to be firing. And then I believe later on we're catching Baby Blue doing her thing and starting the party early for Sisterly Love's birthday at Passing Clouds. Yeah, so big up Passing Clouds and Lyrically Challenged Collective. And then, and at 6 o'clock I have to go and speak at Millfield Theatre in Edmonton. Yeah, go and get quickly paid for Black History Month. Yeah, so big shouts out to everybody for that. That's me out. Remember, if you're in domestic violence relationships, you don't need to be in it. Get out. There's support out there, you know what I mean? Serious and know thyself.
Yeah, that's right. This is Sisterly Love saying thank you people for tuning in, staying locked. Thank you for all our interactive views that we have. Keep your BBs, keep up your Twitters, keep up your Facebook because we want to hear how we're sounding. And remember, like my sister P said, there is no need for violence when nowadays the support network that we have are there for a reason, yeah? We need to bring back community, we need to bring back chatting to your grannies, your aunties, your uncles, you know when you got advice, we need to just bring it back to the good old days, yeah? With a little bit of the 21st century still in there. Remember, when I see you, tell me what you want me to see, but when you see me, I know what I want you to see. Peace.
Sisterly Love, Russell Simmons.
Sisterly Love.
That's
anyway,
right.
As I said, it is DejaVuFM.com. Remember, the show doesn't end here, even though we're off. Still get us to the Twitter at Big Debate Show. Send in all your comments and stuff, anything you want to say, any topics you want to bring up and stuff like that, because we don't stop, you know, we're interactive 24/7. So that's the last one from us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've got to shout out Brother Fury.
Yeah, big shout out. Wakey, you're awake now. We just need to hear your inspirational words. Because you know I'm waiting to hear you talk to me, brother. Remember, DejaVuFM.com. Go vote for us.
Right.
Do you have a passion for music? DejaVuFM.com.
Big in our game.